Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and I'm actually going solo today because Elena is moving and things are really hectic, and so, yeah. But she really, really misses you, and she really is looking forward to seeing you later, and yeah, it's still going to be a spirited Saturday, even though we're missing her. Yeah, so the topic that I decided to talk about today is treatment with others. I actually couldn't really find a question that I wanted to do that was posed to the freedom fighters, so I thought of my own topic. I hope that's okay. One of the things that I really run into a lot, and it's been a big issue for me, is treatment with others, treatment with other co-patients. A lot of times group therapy is prescribed, and it's really, really helpful, but it can also be really, really, really not helpful. It depends what kind of atmosphere and what kind of interaction takes place, and yeah. So, one of the things that I was complaining about my treatment team to my treatment team was that I cannot stand being in a group that is not geared almost 100% to recovery. Yeah, we can't all be 100% all the time, but I need someone there to lean on, and I don't like the idea of having no one else there that's not as like-minded as me in terms of recovery is a goal that I'm getting, recovery is something I'm going to be there for. I really, really just cannot stand when people have symptoms together, or when people, are engaging in destructive behavior that way, or when people are just sort of using their eating disorders and competing with each other and comparing constantly to each other. It's so unhealthy, and I hate it, and I just would rather do without it. So yeah, that was my major complaint, and I was told that, well, we can't control the people around you. Yeah, you know what, they're right, but at the same time, what you do, basically I guess my whole point is, this is partly for me to try and remember, and remind myself that this is something I can do, but also partly for anybody else who's run into the same situation. We teach people how to treat us. So if we are in a position where we put up with people having symptoms around us, or we put up with people comparing themselves to us, or we put up with the competition, or worse, we engage in it ourselves, yeah, maybe that's not our fault, and it's not theirs, but it's our responsibility. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but sometimes things are not your fault, but they're your responsibility to change, and that's what's wrong with our world. It's unfortunate that it works that way, but it does, and it is possible that you can change it, even though you aren't supposed to have to in the ideal really just world. But that's one of the things that you kind of have to be responsible for if, they can't. Like, if I put up with someone having symptoms, or worse, if I join, then that just totally totally undermines my recovery at all. It's just crazy undermines my recovery. So I need to not do that. I need to not ignore when people are having symptoms. I really care genuinely for their recovery, so by bringing it up, I'm doing them a favor. I need to not have symptoms with other people. I got sick on my own. If I want to continue being sick, it has to be on my own. I'm not going to drag someone else down with me. Recovery I can do without someone else. Recovery I can do with friends. Recovery I can do with other people. I cannot be sick with other people. I will not bring someone down like that. So that's just kind of the way that I try and wrap my mind around that. But it's so hard, and I get it. I get it a lot. And then, this is like the same advice or same insight or same information can work too with other people that that necessarily aren't in therapy but also have eating disorders, and you find yourself kind of comparing yourself to them. But yeah, we teach people how to treat us. That doesn't mean that if they are abusive that we should tolerate it. Not at all. We need to reteach them to not treat us that way. If I teach someone over and over again that it's okay for them to scream and yell and swear at me, it's, it's not really a surprise that they're going to continue doing that. It's not right, it's not fair, I totally admit that, but it's not a surprise they're going to keep doing it. Same thing goes with if I just sort of turn the other way when people are having symptoms, or when if I partake in it, they're going to think that that's where I stand, and they're going to be really surprised or really just put off if I suddenly change my mind. So I have to go in with the mindset of, I'm in recovery, I will be in recovery, I am going to treatment to get better and not worse. I am going to this group to get better and not worse. I will not compare. There is no one else on this world like me, so there's no point in comparing, which is really hard. I know, it's so hard. But comparing is pointless, basically. Like, there's nothing. You can compare apples and you can compare oranges, but you can't compare apples and oranges. And every single person on this world is their own fruit, so we can't compare to each other. I won't compete. If I compete, it's in the interest of recovery. I got sick so quickly, and I put all my effort into getting sick, that all my effort deserves to go into recovery as well. And no, it's not going to happen right away. It took me my entire life to get this sick. It's going to take me a little while to get better, but every single effort is going into getting better. So while you teach people how to treat you in terms of, okay, I'm really up for recovery, you can also sort of manipulate people in, I don't know if manipulate's the right word, but you can also sort of steer people in their own right way by kind of being like, you know what, your eating disorder is being a bitch to me, and I don't want it, and you need to get rid of it, and that kind of thing. You can challenge other people along with yourself, and that's when the really amazing, beyond belief therapy takes place. And that's where the friendships are made. That's where the hugest leaps of success are made, is when you decide you're going to do something and you're going to do it together, and you get to celebrate each other's triumphs together. There's a saying that goes, friendship doubles your joy and divides your sorrow. It's so true. You can get better with friends, but just don't get sick with friends. Like, that's just wrong. You don't need your antibody, you don't need that sort of thing. It's just, if you're going to go into group therapy, I know that my mindset is always in the interest of recovery. I care about the other people I'm around. I want their recovery more than I want mine. And that's really something that I have to remember. And I have to remember that when I can't challenge my own eating disorder, I need someone to do it for me. But also there are other people that I'm with who can't challenge their own eating disorder either, and I need to do it for them sometimes. So basically, if I can teach people to treat me as someone who is courageous, who is, a leader in terms of focus and driven, and just really, really sure that she knows she wants recovery, then nobody's going to even dump this, eating disorder crap on my lap. Nobody is going to try and have symptoms around me. Nobody's going to even try and, convince me into having symptoms. We can all get better together. And I hate when people compete against each other. I hate when people brag about their eating disorders. This drives me nuts. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I am going to see you next week, and take care. Have a great weekend.